myself short today. Feels like I fell 1,000 times. Nothing but doubt to flood my mind. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to remember why I ever started racing with my dreams. A restless December, feeling I was meant for more than I believed. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. I swear I meant to do this. I'm told that love would never lie. Where my head has met my heart and they are beautifully aligned. But sometimes it's hard to remember everything I've done that's brought me to this space. I started with embers, now a raging fire is burning in its place. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I'm on my way.
Once again, I am here at 2:30-ish in the morning, actually 2:20 here at the Geek House, and having another stream that is probably going to get people thinking that I'm doing this on purpose to convert everything over to YouTube videos. So record when it's peace and quiet. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, and everything's all messed up with this setup now. I did some game streaming last night, and a few things were adjusted. I have a couple of things I have to tinker with, though. So, this Yeti microphone is being... The reason why my sound is messed up in my game streams is because this Yeti Nano is being misidentified as a Logitech G gaming headset. So, Windows thinks this thing has surround features that it doesn't. So I need this to be able to be installed as a stereo device. So I have some tinkering to do sooner rather than later. But for discussions like this, we can keep things in stereo pretty easily and just do some tinkering before we get back to the gaming streams, which is going to be painful because I have a ton of game streaming to do. ESO just dropped its new champion point system. I'm playing through Final Fantasy Shadowbringers before Endwalker comes out, and I also have World of Warcraft Shadowlands untouched, because I basically have been wrapped up in so many things that I can't even keep up with the MMOs anymore. Regardless, we press on. There's also videos I want to make, by the way, both tech videos as well as meta videos with regards to content creation. There's a lot of stuff that I've been feeling really strongly about lately that I absolutely have to chime in on. Streams are good for some of it, but some of this stuff requires videos. What we're talking about tonight, though, is going to be an example of one of those stream topics. Let's get some music going and let's talk about no self-promotion. One of the dumbest things that I've ever seen since I first wandered over to Twitch about a year ago. I understand that no self-promotion was a thing on Reddit before, but anybody who's been on the internet for any respectable length of time should know that just because a bunch of people do something on the internet doesn't mean it's the right thing for you to do. And I'm here to say, I'll probably be the only person with the spine to say this, or the backbone to say this. No self-promotion and other stuffy rules will keep you small, because it's a form of content creator divide and conquer. That's what we're here to talk about. I think there's something going on here where streamers are being sold a bag of goods, so to speak. Streamers are being set up to fail because they think that just because Twitch tells them something, like the video about no self-promotion, the official creator bootcamp, that's the way it's got to be. When the truth of the matter is, if you mature as a personality, you will be able to handle someone coming into your chat and self-promoting a lot better than what people say you should do on Twitch. And sadly, a lot of what people say about self-promotion on Twitch, is part of the Twitch Bowl effect. It's something where you're going to think this is some universal thing when it comes to content creation, when in reality, it's just Twitch inside baseball. You've been groomed and programmed, essentially, to believe this. It's just one of the many ways in which Twitch has churned out streamer after streamer after streamer who bristles at any form of criticism, is thin-skinned, egotistical, can't handle the fact that other people are content creators, including people who are going to watch their streams. And that these content creators are going to be proud of their work, and they're going to want to talk about what they do as part of the casual discussion as they make friends with you and the people that watch your stream, or in your Discord, or on your subreddit, or on your social medias, or whatever. You know, it's crazy. The way we make friends everywhere else except the internet is by finding something we have in common with them and pursuing that common ground. Except in the world of content creation. No. With the way things are today, you have to instantly be sus of everybody who's a content creator that comes into your audience, and hopefully you ban them if they self-promote. Really? I got news for you. It's really too bad that I have to keep bringing this point up, which should be the most obvious thing in the world. But sadly, I'll bring this up as many times as I need to. Earth to content creators. 2020 happened. No, seriously. In 2020, content creation of any kind became a lot less special. Having a webcam, a good webcam that doesn't do the low shutter speed blah, became a lot less special. Something like what I have here with the lights and this and that and the other, even the ring lights becoming commodities out there, became a lot less special. What you do became a lot less special in 2020. Now, what are you going to do? Cry about it? Or are you going to learn how to live with this new reality that we're in? That anything that has anything to do with online media is now a lot more mainstream than it was a year ago. There's people with work from home settings that are streaming on YouTube. There's people kicking the tires on Twitch in their spare time. And platform after platform after platform last year enjoyed record growth, including Twitch. Doesn't mean Twitch's problems aren't still a thing. Twitch still has incredibly toxic growth that is terrible for content creators, but incredible for people that want to find something to watch. Twitch may have weaker algorithms than Google and YouTube, but you're never going to know that because you can use the browse menu and find new people to watch. You'll just find people that are stylistically similar, sometimes eerily so. I talk about this with the Korean IRL streamers that I watch. I watched the group, the household names that people know, Jinny, Yugi, Tyongi, Hachabi, etc. And after watching enough of all of them combined, Twitch's algorithms recommended some other streamers who didn't have anywhere near as many concurrents, some of whom have actually grown since then because the algorithms are doing their thing and bringing them up into the hundreds of concurrents, whereas previously they had like 2-digit concurrents because they're stylistically similar, sometimes weirdly similar to people that are already popular. In one case with one streamer I was introduced to, she has an eerily similar voice to one of the other streamers. And I think that's the link that the computers did in terms of, sending her stream my way for the first time. And then, of course, he talked about the situation with the No Haley No apartment or wherever that was, where Haley did collabs with multiple streamers over in Seoul. And because the collabs she was doing were at the same house, I was recommended another streamer to watch. Because one of the streamers I did watch did a collab with her at that place, and the systems eerily picked up that another collab was being shot at that apartment in the same locale, in the same area. And so I see the stream later on, and I'm introduced to another streamer that way. So it's weird. It's a little creepy. It's technology, but it's the world we live in. So, and because of it, and it's interesting because it's kind of a feedback loop in play here, because the stylistically similar streamers get introduced to me and who knows who else, their concurrents go up, and now that really popular streamers want to do collabs with them. So we're seeing some streamers getting collabed now as things are going, because hey, when you're an elitist club of streamers, collabing is wonderful. Promoting each other is wonderful, but those randos out there, those people just getting started, they'd better keep their mouth shut. So yeah, we need to talk about no self-promotion. No self-promotion is the sort of thing that when I see this, it tells me a lot about the person, the content creator, and time after time after time after time after time, it is a very serious indicator that a streamer is smaller than a lot of, and here's the interesting part. Not only does this send a message that you are nervous and not so sure of yourself and the content you produce, but I've seen big streamers with no stuffy rules lists, never mind no self-promotion. So there are some really big streamers out there who don't have this rule, who don't come up front and put it in their about section on Twitch. And so I'm thinking, maybe it's the case that some of these streamers know that if someone shows up and they say, yeah, I stream too, it's not going to be the end of the world, even if, people are like, but they might take your audience. They're not entitled to your community. Oh, really? We'll get to that later. Oh, really? We'll get to that later, but in the most ridiculous example I've seen of someone banning someone for self-promotion, it was a streamer with thousands of concurrents that was worried about an itty-bitty Twitch affiliate who can't even crack 10 or 20 most days. You seen the cartoon about the elephant scared of the mouse? Yeah, one of those. Either way, let's get some music going here. Let's talk about this. Content creator divide and conquer. This is a way in which the haves will keep the have-nots from amounting to something, because the have-nots will be too busy fighting amongst each other, while the people who are riding high on these platforms will just collab, benefit from each other's audiences. So the rules suddenly change once you're a big enough streamer. Either way, let's do this. So I have a PowerPoint slide set up, and I have a browser set up, but let's just take a look at some streamer profiles to start things off. So no self-promotion is so incredibly important. Yeah, No self-promotion. So incredibly important to have as a streamer, right? Browser. And why is this the case? XQC. Went to Sully Gnome. Looked up XQC. One of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Usually the biggest streamer on Twitch in terms of hours watched, concurrence, the whole 9 yards. At least, or if not the biggest, then biggest in the English section. There are some gigantic streamers in Brazil and streaming in Spanish as well. But here you go. XQC. Big name on Twitch. Very well known on Twitch. Things like that. Where's his stuffy rules list? Where's his stuffy rules list? Where's his no self-promotion list? Pokimane, the queen of Twitch, as I've heard. Where's the stuffy rules list? Where's no self-promotion? Where's anything? She's huge. Some people view her as the face of Twitch in some ways, shapes, or forms. So, where's the rules list? Here's her channel. Where is it? Am I missing something here? Where's the no self-promotion? Where's the stern warning up front? No self-promotion. Mizkif. Where's his rules list? Where is it? You know, where? Where? This is his profile page. This is his about section on Twitch. Where's the stuffy rules list? Where's no self-promotion? Where is anything? Where is any of this? Summit. Discord, hardware, G Fuel, Samsung, Where is the stuffy rules list? Where's no self-promotion? Shroud. Lovely Logitech G theme going on here. Where's the no self-promotion? Nick Merckx. Found out about him when I was looking to see what Fortnite was about a couple of years ago. Stuffy rules list? Where? No self-promotion warning. Where? And so we see. There are numerous big names on Twitch that don't even bother saying anything like that. And yet, you can go to a lot of smaller streamers, and by small, I mean smaller than XQC. And you'll see again and again and again, the smaller they get, the stuffier things get. And then you have the streamers down at the bottom who are like, oh, well, I'm just getting started. You know, I'm not an affiliate yet. I'm going to watch the how-tos on Twitch, and they see the how-to on no self-promotion, and they're like, oh, I better put that in as one of my rules. I wouldn't want some jerk showing up and taking away my audience. So why are we having this discussion? I think before we proceed, because I do have a full PowerPoint and everything here, we need to take a look at Reddit. Not going to put this on the screen. I'm just going to read things off. I want the words themselves to tell the story, regardless of who it is. Maybe some of you folks may know some of these people who post on Reddit. I don't want that to bias anything. Over on Twitter, I was pretty upset at the end of last night. I was comparing YouTube of 2006 to the YouTube of 2021. At the very same time, while I was comparing YouTube then and now, kind of like the old meme, how it started, how it's going, I happened to misclick and I went over to Reddit. I don't go to Reddit very much. I was involved a little in the SFan subreddit. Not anymore. I'm also not a fan of LSF, so I don't bother with that. Plus, as I joked about in Tyongi's Discord earlier tonight, with that 2.5 million view clip of her and Barry that was sent to me algorithmically on YouTube, I think the YouTube algorithms are going to smoke the living daylights out of LSF in terms of sending around haha funny stream clips and stuff. So I think LSF will be irrelevant sooner rather than later, and technology will make LSF irrelevant. What's really going to matter in terms of streamers getting known is when some haha clip channel picks up their clip and puts it on YouTube and sends it around and it goes viral. YouTube to the rescue! Woo! So I don't go to Reddit much anymore. I think it's kind of redundant. I don't really have the time to be watching all these people argue with each other on the internet about stuff that often happens in forums, which I consider Reddit to be a proper descendant of. But because I misclicked, I saw some stuff on the screen before I could close the window. And that's when I saw this. 2,700 upvotes in our Twitch. And the Twitch subreddit on Reddit, duh. The Twitch subreddit often is a great place to see people say dumb stuff about streaming. It's sometimes you read what's on this subreddit and you're like, really? Thought I lagged for a second there. All right, let's take a look at this. Gotta go. Going to start my stream now. I've come across some streamers that come into my channel in the middle of my stream to say, hey, hello. 5 minutes later, they hit me with, gotta go. Going to start my stream now. Don't do this in another streamer's live channel. In fact, just try to avoid mentioning your own Twitch channel in someone else's Twitch unless you're asked about it by the streamer. It feels like a slick attempt to self-promote, especially if it happens often. Just say, gotta go, have a good stream. It is. At the very least, they could wait until you ask, or they could just raid you and have that be the way to announce that they stream. It 100% is. This inspired me to start timing people out for self-promo when they do it. Let's see here. Let's try some other stuff here. Oh, I'm not in the thread. Hold on a second. View the entire discussion. Yes, I want to see this thread, Reddit. Just because I'm not signed in on this browser. Come on now. I start timing people out when I see people do it. See here. Some people are even trying to stretch Twitch's TOS, policies against advertising and spam, to apply to self-promotion. Let's see here. Oh, look at this. Unsolicited advertising. Yeah, well, if you look at the actual section, it says you're not supposed to be sending junk mail or spam and things like that. So if you're spamming all over the place, that's one thing. But if you're... See, the problem with this is that once you become a content creator, you become proud of what you do, even if you're an entry-level content creator and you're going to be ashamed of what you've made in like 3-4 years. Everybody who's at whatever position they're at in terms of content creation, whatever stage in the journey or whatever they're at, everybody's going to be happy for what they do, and they're going to be glad to talk about it. Because, I mean, if they weren't passionate about it, they wouldn't get involved in it. You know, they wouldn't stay involved. But what we have is a culture that tells people, shut up. Don't you go talking about that stuff on my stream. I worked for the community I have. Yeah. Pathetic. Twitch, baby. The reason why it's Twitch specific again falls into that category of stuff that Twitch has decided to do that spills over into how people view Twitch and how people view streaming. People don't realize how they've been groomed to behave this way by Twitch's business decisions. Twitch focuses so heavily on live streaming. Here's the problem. You're going to be more likely to believe something like this because you don't have very many options on Twitch except to stream and grind and stream and grind. As opposed to YouTube, where there's a very beefy after-the-fact or non-live presence, where it makes a ton of sense in the world, you know, to be proud of what you do and talk to other creators. But here's the thing. Whereas you and I might be streaming at the same time, and you might be trying to get my audience to go watch your stream or vice versa, with YouTube, people can just watch our videos whenever. And in the case of somebody showing up in comments talking about, yeah, I made a video about this too, check it out. Even if they did something like that, you still have to watch my video to see the comment directing you to, hey, check out my video too. And YouTube actually used to have a video response feature, so this used to be a formal feature on YouTube. So what a world we've come to, that no self-promotion has to be taken for granted all across Twitch and Reddit and in so many places and stuff along those lines. Let's continue reading this thread. Let's see here. See, if I don't notice to say hi within 2 minutes of them writing hi, they say, oh, I gotta ignore. Just want to say hi before I start my stream. Okay, gotta go start my stream. Etc. What is this? Insta ban these people. Da-da-da, It's leeching. Listen to this attitude. Oh, man. Listen to this rotten attitude here. See. Some people do this to network. It sort of works for them. I mean, plenty of scummy things have some sort of success rate, I suppose. Da-da-da-da-da. Some people just don't have tact. It's super rude. There may occasionally be one or two that don't realize how it comes off. Either way, it makes them look bad. Da-da-da. See. Well, I'm going to talk to my one bot viewer, which pulls people, da-da-da. Don't guilt trip people, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, when I was looking at this straight bans in my chat, especially if you're new and you just dropped the I just started streaming, etc. New folks get straight bans. This person has been hanging out for all, has now gotten too comfortable, blah, blah, blah. Ban them, move on. Listen to these attitudes. Just listen to these attitudes that people have. And just how thin-skinned they are. Listen to these horrible attitudes. Oh, here's somebody responding. Finally, someone that isn't super insecure about their streaming and viewer numbers. So, it's dumb. It actually makes me not want to ever... No, excuse me. It actually makes me not ever want to view this person's streams. I think it has an opposite effect on the desired outcome. If you've been... Yeah, so all of this flying, all this shouting back and forth about self-promotion this, self-promotion that, and I'm just here laughing at it. Because YouTube has shown the world an environment where this kind of bristly attitude towards other content creators who are proud of what they do, and they talk about, yeah, I've done this video on this, or I stream about this, or whatever. Oh yeah, insta-block them, insta-ban them. Okay, I can close this now. I'm done with this nonsense. YouTube has already shown a world where this is not necessary, and this attitude is not necessary. So here's the thing, and this is what I was talking about earlier, and it is so important we should probably cut the music for this. So we know that Twitch streamers have this thing for being egotistical, full of themselves, and Twitch having groomed them to be very narcissistic. But here is the fundamental problem with all of these bad attitudes in this Reddit thread, and everywhere else this attitude is found on Twitch. You do not own your audience. You do not own your audience. This is something I actually first learned about from, of all places, religious people. Pastors preaching about not going to other churches, or people who go to this church or that church or whatever. I remember growing up, one of the things I used to hear in the pulpits on Sundays was the whole idea of what certain preachers in my area were calling sheep stealing. And this is the idea that you get people, churches don't grow by ministering to the communities, they grow by trying to get people from other churches to go to theirs. I could say it's kind of a spiritual ancestor of sorts to what I'm dealing with this stuff with these Twitch people. Because you had all these pastors getting up and preaching their little hearts out on Sunday, which is, super, on the off the cuff speaking like this, usually very charismatic, trying to tug on some heartstrings with some of the points they're making from their pulpits. And you had this and whatnot. And every so often this topic would come up, this whole idea, oh, sheep stealing. We don't want to be sheep stealing, blah, 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 blah. When I was older, I learned a bit more about things, including a bit more scripture. The pastor whose church I wound up going to was the one who broke from the mold and said, look, as a minister, I'm an under-shepherd of the great shepherd. These are not my sheep. They're Jesus's sheep. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to preach. But these people are not my sheep. I don't own my congregation. And in today's world with content creation, no matter how popular you are, how good you think your stuff is, you do not own your audience. And so, when you come out and you say, and when you come out and you make yourself look like you can't handle the fact that other people in your audience are going to be content creators too, and they're going to be proud of what they do, and they may talk about it casually or whatnot, and you want to think, oh, but there's a slicky self-promotion. The fact that you even think that reflects badly on you. No, seriously. It reflects badly on you. Makes you look like you have some issues with what you do and thinking what you do isn't good enough. Let's turn the music back on. Let's talk about the what ifs of this mess. So, what if this attitude is right? What if there are a bunch of slimy used car salesman type, checkered jacket, whatever, folks out there, and they want to steal your audience that you don't own, by the way, lest we forget. Let's suppose there's people out there that want to do that. What's to say that you can't just be better than them? So people keep watching you even if people show up and do that with impunity in your chat. If you doubt whether or not what you do is good enough, that means you need to improve your content, not lord over the people watching it with an iron fist. If your content's not good enough, that's on you. And it's not a bad idea to have a little litmus test of whether or not your stuff is good enough by being able to have people not leave if someone else shows up. Therefore, rendering this bunker mode fear of other creators completely and totally irrelevant. And let's also not forget that nice little rule about content creation nowadays. 2020 happened, like it or not. There are more people that are going to be content creators these days. There will be content creators showing up in your audience. If you've been lucky enough to not have that happen, your luck is going to run out sooner rather than later. More people can get the gear, have the gear, get into this stuff, do this stuff. It's time to stop pretending that you and a few of your popular friends are going to be the only people making content. And stop acting like it. Because the more you do that, the more you're going to be out of touch with the way things are and the way things are going. And the more it's going to make you look bad. So, let's look at this here. PowerPoint. Divide and Conquer 101. We've looked at a lot of large streamers who don't have no self-promotion rules. As you go down the hierarchy, you're going to see the no self-promotion rules start up, and they get more aggressive the further you go towards the bottom. But let's talk about Divide and Conquer and how exactly no self-promotion works this way. So first off, Divide and Conquer 101, it's a way for the haves to control the have-nots by getting the have-nots to fight each other. Nobody's going to compete with you if nobody can be competitive enough to compete with you. And if you can rig the game so that you're always on top, you don't have to get better and stay better. And so one of the ways that you, as somebody who isn't doing the right thing, can stay on top is by keeping people from challenging you. And no self-promotion is a great way that this happens. But this isn't just in terms of content creation. This is also in terms of things like political stuff, military strength, financial strength, things like that. You can read about this in history, but what you'll see over and over again is that Divide and Conquer is a way for somebody or some group or some party or some government or whatever who has something to keep people from challenging them by getting them to fight with each other instead of stand up and unite. So, I think that's the only real point I can make here. Other than this applies to a lot of ways, competent competition. I have to spell Italian or whatnot, like competizione. There's an Alfa Romeo car that's like that. A lot of ways in which some group, some government, etc., stays on top by preventing the rise of competent competition, whether through, a lot of ways. So some of these ways are military, political, financial, corporate influence, advertising, other ways to throw their weight around. There you go. And so you'll see again and again and again. What? How come I can't get down to... Yeah. We'll use the ribbon to get it, to just drop down a size there. But there you go. And that's what you do. You see this, see here. This sort of stuff can be found in history, competition, etc. It always has the same thing in common, though. There is somebody who's trying to keep somebody else from challenging them by keeping them small somehow, or by stunting their ability to grow. Let's see. Regardless of context, divide and conquer involves preventing someone else from getting good at something. Yep. And being able to challenge the status quo. It's not just in military or other stuff like that too. You don't just read about this in the history books. You'll read about this, for example, with, say, companies that are going after each other for talent and things like that, trying to get more talent. Or, for example, the companies that have the money get all the best talent and deny talent from all the companies that don't have the most money, and so their teams perform better. It's just one of those ways in which the haves keep the have-nots from being any kind of competition. Now let's take a look at content. Let's look at no self-promotion and some of the things we talked about. No self-promotion on Twitch versus small creators. All right, so we know, so Twitch has a how-to video for new streamers, but the attitudes conveyed don't match the attitudes of many big streamers at the top. Many big streamers don't even have stuffy rules lists, much less no self-promotion lists. So I didn't mention Ninja because I didn't cherry pick this very much. I didn't mention Ninja specifically, even though he's very well known as being a very popular Twitch streamer. Truth of the matter is, if you look at Ninja's numbers, Twitch isn't all that exciting anymore. Sully, no. Some people are saying that he made a big mistake. I agree with these people. He made a big mistake coming back to Twitch instead of going off to YouTube and letting the algorithms promote him similar to Valkyrie. If we look at Ninja, let's look at his 365 since coming back after Mixer shut down. He's settled in around about 17,000 concurrents over the span of a year, but let's look at 30 days. 11,470 over the past 30 days on Sully Gnome versus Mizkif, who just has fun, 19,748. So Mizkif last 30 days, Mizkif has been bigger than Ninja. And what does Ninja have? A no self-promotion rule. Yeah, go to his Twitch channel and you'll see it. Yeah, he has a stuffy rules list and no self-promotion. Let's go to browser again and relink it. Oh yeah, so it was originally showing, yeah, here's Ninja. Ninja Sully Gnome. 11,470 versus Mizkif. 19,748. Guy just having fun with his friends versus a name that has been known on Twitch for years. Who has the stuffy rules list? Ninja. Who has the no self-promotion warning? Ninja. See, that's the thing. There are several of the biggest creators on Twitch that don't have stuffy rules or a no self-promotion thing. You start seeing these things show up, the smaller that people get. So if this is really something good for you in the long term on Twitch, Why do you see this attitude drop off the bigger the streamers get? Let's see here. That's the thing. Also not forget collabs as well. So here's the thing. We're probably gonna need separate slides. We're gonna need some separate slides here. We're gonna have to bounce between points as I think of them here. So let's see here. 2020 versus no self-promotion. Since we brought it up so many times. The number one problem with no self-promotion is that 2020 happened. 2020 and the pandemic lockdowns led to surges in the use of online media platforms like YouTube and Twitch, but also led to surges in the sales of hardware that can be used for content creation, such as Soku, such as webcams, laptops, ring lights, etc. What the? Come on. Talked about ring lights in the last YouTube video. So because of this, because of 2020, content creation is a lot more mainstream and a lot less special than it was merely a year ago, but this is a symptom, not the problem. Content creation has been becoming less special for years as expensive equipment that only the pros could afford has become less expensive to where more... What's the humidity in here? 31%. It was 60 degrees earlier. It was 60 degrees and actually humid earlier today. And now here we are with winter starting back up again. We're literally going from summer to winter in under 12 hours. Classic New England weather. Anyways, yeah, from like 60 degrees during the day, might hit 70 tomorrow, I think. 60 degrees during the day, crashing down to 29 at night. Let's see here. Lag? YouTube might have just thought YouTube was flaking out there. Alright. Content creation is becoming less special for years as expensive equipment that only the pros could afford has become less expensive to where more consumer grade stuff is affordable and looks good. So as an example of this, in the early... let's see here. At the peak of my involvement in the audio-visual office in college, I was allowed to use a Super VHS camcorder that cost over $1,000 to film a mock newscast. Yeah, students were not allowed to sign this camera out, but I was so involved with the AV office that I actually was able to do so just because I was that I'd built up trust that much over the years I was in college working for the audio-visual office. This was an over $1,000 Super VHS camera. We're talking VHS quality here, just better than a normal VHS camcorder. And I used SVHS. No, I used S-Video. That's what it was called. The old round jack to record it. So it stayed S-Video. Allowed to use Super VHS camcorder that costs over $1,000 to film a mock newscast for a broadcast media class. Today, a 1080p 30 camcorder. Let's see. Today, a 1080p 30 camcorder can cost under $300, and that's with the price increases due to tariffs and other stuff that's going on and making things more expensive right now. If you go to B&H, photo, video, etc., you can buy an MP4 camcorder and cross your fingers that you don't get any kind of glitches like what I've been trying to deal with lately when making videos. But today, a 1080p 30 camcorder can cost under what am I from New York? Can cost under $300. Oh man. Yeah. So that's the thing. Whereas previously, you might have had an occasional content creator in your audience. These days, you will sooner probably have them show up sooner rather than later. So that's the thing. 2020 has thrown a wrench into this attitude. Bottom line is, you're going to have content creators in your audience. They're going to be proud of what they do, and they're going to be frustrated that you have a nasty attitude towards the fact that somebody other than you could probably stream and do well at it. Or somebody other than you could make a YouTube video that looks as good as yours is. That's the world we live in. What else do you want to add to this deck? So 2020 versus no self-promotion. So when we get back to this idea here, why do you see his attitude drop off as streamers get bigger? So, no self-promotion makes you look like you can't handle the fact that other content creators exist, could be better than you. See, other content could be better than you, and you need to somehow share the platform with them. So it makes you look bad. Part of maturing and keeping things professional as a content creator is to stay focused on your content and not be thrown off by petty emotions or issues you may have with others. So somebody shows up and, you know, maybe they self-promote. Whoop-dee-doo. If you're doing a good enough job with what you do, it's not going to make a difference. This person will have to stream at different times in order to get an audience. Even if this person, if you're doing everything right, even if the person trying to take your audience, which by the way, you don't own your audience, again. So, you can full screen this one. Even if these people are successful, if your content is good enough, they're not going to leave. If they do leave, maybe they are better than you at something, or something along those lines. Or maybe there'll be buyer's remorse and those people will come back. But the bottom line is you don't own your audience. So don't pretend you do. It makes you look bad. But that's the thing. Someone shows up and self-promotes, whoop-dee-doo. Whoop-dee-doo. Who cares? If you're doing your job, it's not going to matter. And if they really want your people watching their stream and you're doing your job, they have no chance of doing so. They'll be forced into streaming when you're not, because maybe if you're successful at this self-promotion stuff, you'll get other people to watch you, but since the other person does their job and keeps them entertained, you're going to now have to bend your schedule to match the person that you self-promoted, whose chat you self-promoted in. So, if you just stop and think about some of this stuff, you can then start thinking about how you can move beyond the knee-jerk reaction that, as usual, is often the wrong reaction. Like we mentioned earlier, the no self-promotion attitude goes away the larger the creator gets. Some of that's due to critical mass, but I think the rest of it is due to maturity as well. So let's see here. If you are really as good at content creation as you think you are, self-promotion won't do a thing. If you lose people because of a self-promoter, like people try to make it sound like happens all the time, take a look at why instead of getting angry at your audience. That's the thing. If audience poaching was as bad as the no self-promotion attitude makes, that's two spaces, isn't it? No, it's one, actually. Interesting. That's why I didn't get squiggled. If audience poaching was as bad as the no self-promotion attitude makes it sound, if you were doing your job, a self-promoter could only get your audience to watch when you are not streaming. So they limit themselves the more they self-promote. All right, why don't we talk about the hard work? Why don't we talk about the hard work side of it? Actually, no. Let's see here. Make a slide for... Let's also make a slide for... Let's see here. Earth to creators. You don't own your audience. Let's see here. We could also add in... Let's also add in some stuff we talked about earlier with this whole thing. Learned this from pastors growing up who preached about sheep stealing. I ultimately joined the church of the pastor who said, "They're the Lord's sheep, not mine." This pastor knew that they didn't own their congregation. Adapting this to online media, you don't own your audience. You do your job and keep people interested by making good stuff, not ruling your chat with an iron fist. That's the thing. So, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, self-promoters won't matter. Now here's something I haven't talked about yet. But I worked hard to get to where I am. Don't confuse Twitch's platform problems with your hard work. That's the stinger right there. That right there is the stinger. So I put this in quotes for a very specific reason. If you've been trying to get people to watch on Twitch and people are not sticking around, if you're trying to get people to watch on Twitch and it's very hard to get people to stick around, part of that is because of the platform. We've gone over the numbers time and again, and we've seen where Twitch over and over and over just doesn't bring in enough people to give a proper audience to everybody who wants to be a Twitch streamer. There unavoidably is an element of one person grows because somebody else doesn't, simply by virtue of the numbers that are involved, as opposed to YouTube, which has had the number of streamers drop off in the second half of 2020. They've had the number of streamers drop off while the watch hours went up. So the ratio is a lot higher as well. Plus, with YouTube, you have a way of introducing yourself to an audience via your videos, an extremely robust video feature. So people can sub for videos. The only thing that YouTube really needs to improve in terms of notifications for live streams are tied to your bell settings. You need to turn on all notifications to see go live notifications for streamers. I've tested this a couple of times. I don't know if YouTube has improved that since then to where customized notifications will tell you when someone goes live. But I've noticed people streaming, and I was never informed that they were streaming. I went and looked. The bell settings were regular bell, not all notifications. So, we mentioned this before, but YouTube might have to improve that. YouTube's probably going to have to improve that to differentiate between notifications for videos and notifications for streams if they want more people to watch streams on YouTube. It's one of the fundamental problems is YouTube's a general purpose platform. So I'm just looking at the okay. I'm just looking at the thumbnail that's on this. I'm still seeing the generic MultimediaJay thumbnail on here. There were some thumbnails last time I streamed that okay, I had to refresh. So now it's showing cool. Yeah, so interesting. Nice. This is what I'm looking for. Thumbnails generated by recent moments on the stream. Something that YouTube, I found out recently, was doing. But yeah. So yeah, you don't own your audience. You don't own your audience. You got to work for them. You got to work to get them, and you got to work to keep them. Don't confuse Twitch's platform problems with your hard work. And let's put down some of those platform problems. Twitch, let's see. As the quarterlies have shown, Twitch isn't bringing in enough people so that every would-be Twitch streamer, why doesn't it autocorrect that, gets to have the audience they want. Twitch's weakness with after-the-fact content. Twitch's weakness with after-the-fact content means that people hardly have a chance to find you when you're not live. And then here's something we have to talk about, probably in a separate discussion at some point. But the way Twitch is designed for new people, and we can open up Microsoft Edge to illustrate this, Twitch will funnel you in towards the biggest streamers, and then maybe you might be introduced to a smaller streamer. Let's go to Twitch TV defaults. We're gonna have to mute it because this thing keeps blanking itself out. So we're just gonna, all right, let's hit mute on this. And let me show you the default. Here's the default Twitch thing that we have here. Let's load up Microsoft Edge. Let's link it up. Yeah, it's looking for the other stuff. All right, so here's rookie Twitch tonight. Dark mode's not even turned on. I apologize. This is a browser that blanks itself out every single time. Yeah, see that? Here's rookie Twitch. Right here. Tifu, Tyler1, Lily Pichu. I don't know who this guy is, but he has 50,000 subs. Minecraft, Fortnite. You get funneled into popular streamers to start. Now here's the thing, if these popular streamers do what a lot of them do, stream long hours, grind away, and eat up as much of their audience's time as possible, the whole stalling mentality, then people are not going to look for other people to watch until they're sick of the big streamers that the platform introduced them to. Never mind what social media is doing, what some of the other stuff is doing. There's an element of inertia in general because the big streamers are big and you're not. But Twitch makes that worse. The rookie experience, as we've shown, funnels people towards the biggest streamers. So people have to look for streamers to want to watch someone algorithmically similar through recommended smaller communities or something in order to branch out from that. But to do that, you're probably talking about going from somebody who's live a lot more, so you can watch them a lot more, to somebody who's not live as much. No. So they don't stream on as many days or for as many hours. And I think this is one of the reasons why stalling is so popular among all these big streamers. They just run the camera and whatever. Because the more time they take up, the better they do. There's an element of inertia, and they're encouraged to essentially do that by the system itself. So that's how the deck is stacked against you. One of many ways, actually. Twitch's weakness with after-the-fact content means that people hardly have a chance to find you when you're not live. And so, your slow Twitch growth or non-existent, your slow or non-existent Twitch growth has to do with platform problems as much as your efforts to grow. This is the unfortunate reality of so many social media platforms out there. The social media platform, particularly for people that want to go beyond recreational use for family and friends and whatnot, social media platform is often the middleman between a creator and their audience. And in some cases, the middleman that determines whether a creator has an audience, which is something that Twitch streamers should be very concerned about with the ad-friendly rating score stuff that people are talking about right now. So yeah, your slow or non-existent Twitch growth has to do with platform problems as much as your effort to grow. So that's the thing. Don't confuse Twitch's platform problems with your hard work. And by virtue of that, as a result of this, it reflects badly on you if you let whatever success you've had on Twitch get to your head. Great example. People exuberant about having gotten Twitch affiliate, which we know from the differences between the platforms hails badly compared to YouTube partner. So, but there's people that talk about Twitch affiliate as though it's any kind of thing you can correlate with being a YouTube partner. Crazy stuff. People exuberant about having gotten Twitch affiliate. So, 4 slides and counting. And so in light of all of this, we just have to think about this whole situation here. No self-promotion. Actually, no. So you know this year, you may have had an occasional content creator. These days, you will probably have them show up sooner rather than later. Last bullet point. If you can't make friends with those creators who are proud of their work, can't make friends with those, that will stunt your ability to make friends and grow a fan base. Because here's the thing, like we said, there's always the low-hanging fruit. This is huge. There's always the low-hanging fruit that you have to think about. So I come out and I talk about this stuff overtly. For everybody who's like me, there's people that just act on stuff. So yeah, for everybody who comes out and says this sort of stuff, kind of like me, there's people that just act on it. So there's people out there who will see you get upset at self-promoters, and they'll shy away from you without saying a word. Just because you've outed that part of your personality, that you can't handle the fact that other people are content creators, and you want to have this attitude of, I got mine, sucks to be you. Who wants to hang out with someone like that? So fundamentally, we need to talk about how this all links together. All right. How no self-promotion holds you back. So, how does no self-promotion hold you back? Content creators have 2 demographics: their audience and their fan base. Their audience just watches. Their fan base actually likes them. Actually likes and supports them. So, the audience is just there. The fan base is there, but they like you, and that's why they're watching. They're there for you. They want to hear what you have to talk about. They want to see what you're doing. They like your content. They like the game that you're playing. They like something about what it is that you're doing, and they keep coming back. So here's the thing. The fan base is the best part of your audience. So how do you grow your fan base? The answer? Making friends. So how many friends do you think you'll make when you look like you're thin-skinned, can't handle others doing what you do, and exude through your actions an attitude of, I got mine, sucks to be you. There you go. How many friends? Oh, to you. Should have been do you. How many friends do you think you'll make? Etc., etc., etc. So, let's also put that in. The low-hanging fruit effect. Some people may actually say why they stopped watching you, but there are others who will leave without saying anything. And by virtue of that, your attitude and no self-promotion can be the reason they silently left. There you go. Your attitude, no self-promotion can be the reason they silently left. That's the thing. Let's also not forget what happens when you get too big and you still have this attitude. When you get too big and still have this attitude, it looks even worse. So, elephant afraid of the mouse. A Twitch partner worrying about an itty bitty affiliate. Yeah, I know. I typed the word tit there by mistake. Not a physical Freudian slip. Although if you want me to talk about tits on stream, I actually do have some links. You want to talk about tits on stream, I actually do have some links. So why don't we, since we brought it up, here we go. Browser. Here we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Since I mentioned it, tits on stream. Bada bing. Womp, 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 womp. I keep these links handy in case anybody shows up in the chat, particularly on Twitch with their younger demographics. But, yeah, we do have links. We have links to tits and we have links to boobs. And they're both Wikipedia articles about birds. But hey, if someone shows up in my chat and wants me to be a smartass, I would be very happy to oblige. All right, back to the discussion. That's more of a Twitch joke, because I have had people show up and spam my chat on Twitch once in a blue moon. All right, that was a nice diversion. All right, PowerPoint. Twitch partner worrying about an itty-bitty affiliate. Yeah, that's actually something I've seen before. So the bottom line is you have to shed that attitude. See here. Much like follow notifications, if you have to shed this attitude as you get bigger before it makes you look ridiculous, why have it in the first place? There you go. So skip the rung on the ladder. Bottom line. Have a bottom line. Have a better and more mature response to self-promotion than the default knee-jerk iron-fisted one. So, the last thing we can probably... this is probably the second last thing I've looked at here. Let's add another one. Title and content. The historical context of no self-promotion. So again, we talked about early YouTube versus the YouTube of today in a recent discussion here. So I first heard about it on Reddit. The reason why I first heard about it happening on Reddit in the early days of Twitch of the early 2010s, the reason why I first heard about it over on Reddit was because it wasn't a thing on Twitch or on YouTube. YouTube grew with an environment that didn't anathematize self-promotion. Examples: video responses were a formal, supported, official feature. Early YouTubers talked to each other via comments and made video responses. Collabs were nothing special. YouTube was practically video social media. See here. YouTube is different nowadays, but still better without no self-promotion attitudes. So, YouTube streams convert to videos and can be cut down into spin-off videos via Save as New, the robust cloud editor that I often talk about. So, everything, including stream replays, everything, let's just do all caps, including stream replays, is evergreen on YouTube. Take this here. Replace that hyphen with the fat hyphen. There we go. Everything, including stream replays, is evergreen on YouTube. So, let's also not forget, YouTube streams have DVR mode. So you can rewind and replay streams after joining them. So because of this, see here, the evergreen strength dilutes the worries about your live audience being stolen. That's a huge strength. So YouTube, we've seen YouTube then and now. So we've seen YouTube then and now as an environment where no self-promotion didn't even become a thing. It didn't even matter. So let's see here. If you self-promote on YouTube, it doesn't matter to the streamer as much as on Twitch. Again, the difference is between the platforms here. So, YouTube streams are more evergreen. People can pause. Let's see. People can watch your stuff more easily, independently of who they're currently watching. Independently who is currently watching, da-da-da-da-da. If you self-promote in someone's comment section, see here, viewers have to watch the original creator's video to scroll to your comment and find out about yours. So bottom line, the antagonism of no self-promotion is better left on Twitch. Period. No self-promotion is another way people get wrapped up in Twitch's business decisions. Their decision to keep the platform so heavily focused on live content and not develop their video side. Their reason to be so very heavily promoted, their reason to stay so heavily focused on live and whatnot, their reason to stay so heavily focused on personality streaming, on hangout streaming, on the stuff that inherently makes people more narcissistic and encourages that kind of behavior. Let's think about that for a second. On YouTube, your videos can be interesting not just because of you. You could be filming your cat. You could be filming some nature. You could be filming a documentary. You could be filming some actors or what. You could do like some kind of short film thing. It doesn't always have to be about you. And yet, Just Chatting streamer all over the place, Twitch all over the place, even the gaming streamers. It's constantly about them. Because if it's not about them, then it's people just looking to see gameplay of a game or something. So there's an emphasis on the self, and a massive one over on Twitch. This is part of Twitch culture. And this is one of the reasons why I say that Twitch culture is a form of content creator poison. Because this ruins the attitudes of not just the people making stuff on Twitch, but also the people watching it. People who want to go along with it, or maybe they want to simp for their favorite streamer or something along those lines. So they have these issues. And all of this ties into what Twitch hath wrought. What has Twitch built up? How has Twitch influenced the way people think about streaming to the point where the Twitch brand is so powerful and Twitch's marketing is so good at what they do that you think about streaming based on what you think about Twitch, and you don't think that's the case. You don't think that your views on streaming are because of your views on Twitch, when in reality that's the way they are. So it's just, again, with the whole thing with YouTube streaming and how so many people out there, as the numbers suggest, don't really understand why YouTube streaming can be different and better than streaming on Twitch. Because Twitch has been around and has thrown their weight around so much that they set the narrative on what people think of live streaming in the first place, and even what they think of videos, or even what they think of YouTube. As we've talked about, all these commentators out there that are getting people to come over to YouTube to only make a YouTube channel just to grow their Twitch channel, using YouTube as a means to an end. And you're really selling yourself short when you do that. You should never view YouTube as a step to anything. YouTube is bigger than Twitch, has more to offer than Twitch, and is even expanding into TikTok territory, which is something I need to check out. I want to take some videos that I have, some key moments that people have really enjoyed, turn them vertical and send them through the YouTube Shorts circuit. I want to see what the requirements are for that. There's a couple of videos I have in mind that I think would be hilarious if we looped them and I sent them around the circuit. We'll put them under the random playlist for what they're going to be in on the channel page. I gotta check that out. Saw some of them while waiting for some Windows updates to install. I have some things to do with the computers as well. But there we go. Take the slides, maybe send them over to Instagram and things along those lines. But the bottom line is, no self-promotion makes you look bad. You need to be prepared for there to be content creators in your audience, because there will be. Now more than ever. The story of multimedia over the last 15 years, and I can tell you this because I've been poking with this stuff for even longer than that. The story of multimedia over the last 15 years is stuff that used to be only for the pros becoming something consumers can work with and make look really good. This even applied to green screen effects in the 2000s. Yeah, there were people doing green screens with cameras, and they could only upload 100 megabyte videos up to YouTube. So one of the things that happened as a result of that was green screen effects were easier because the older, cruder cameras you can fuzz out because of the lower resolution green screen artifacts a lot better than you can today. So, but that was an early example of how pro technology was finding its way into the hands of consumers. And that's what we have today. Indeed, that absolutely is what we have today, and we have more of it today as well. And 2020 in particular took a lot of things that there might even be photographers out there that have to do an about face, because people are learning about things like color temperature, 3-point lighting, things like that. Somebody who really is dedicated can probably take a professional grade photo at home with a digital camera and proper lighting. Or their phone in proper lighting nowadays. Things just keep getting better and better. At lower and lower price points. I mean, what can you do that a photo studio would have had to have done like 30 years ago? What can you do? Higher quality cameras, lighting, neutral white light instead of house lighting, the ability to have things like ring lights and deflect light and diffuse light, 3-point lighting, and how about editing out blemishes afterwards via photo editing tools, Photoshop, and all kinds of other stuff. This is all stuff that people can do on their own now. So that's actually a rather far-fetched prediction of mine regarding 2020's effect on multimedia, but I can tell you this. 2020 will affect photographers and other people who offered paid services too, just the same way that it is affecting content creators. So you might as well get with the times and realize there will be content creators in your audience. And if you push away the content creators because they might turn into competitors if they get good enough at what they do, you are shrinking your potential audience big time because more people are doing it. It's not the case where, once upon a time, you had like a couple of folks come through who streamed. But you have so many people do it with all this work from home gear and all this other stuff, you might as well just get ready for it right now and come up with better ideas than a Twitch creator camp video from how long ago? Let me go to my Twitch account right now and just look this up directly. See, I'm probably gonna have to mute this. No, the site's already muted. I have my channel intro up on Twitch now, by the way. Let me actually go to my creator dashboard here. Creator camp, there it is. Let me just bounce over to creator camp. Let's go to building your community. Getting to know your audience. See here. Where was the no self-promotion thing? Say hi to the neighbors. There's Pokimane, da-da-da. Making friends is worthwhile. How old are these videos, though? Let me actually see if I can get over to Twitch. Should you collab with others? Twitch actually has a Creator Camp channel, so... Oh yeah, twitch.tv/Creator Camp. Can I see the channel? Alright, let me go to my own channel here. Let me see if I can look up Creator Camp. Because that'll tell me how old some of that is. Look up Creator Camp. There it is. 25,000 followers. Just chatting stream from 8 years ago, or 8 days ago. Let's look at uploads. Hateful conduct update. Aurelian doing this. Level up. Analyzing your channel is 2 years old. Yeah, so... How about highlights? Let's do all videos. See if we can spot the Pokimane video. There's the policy updates. Da-da-da. How far back do we have to go? Setting up your stream. PC setups is from a year ago. Use your videos. The offline hustle. Use your videos to grow and engage your audience. 2 years ago. Collabs. 2 years ago. The bounty board. Connect and engage. Engage me. Let me just go all the way to the bottom. How far back does it go? 3 years ago. Network with other creators. 3 years old. Da-da-da-da. So that's the thing. I mean, on YouTube, I could see whether some of these videos on how to do things, I can see how old they are. Oh, there it is. Say hi to the neighbors. Don't try to steal the show by proclaiming that you're also a streamer. It scrolled over to that a minute in. It scrolled over to that while I was looking this stuff up. Let's see. Because I had the close... You want to try and get people... What is it doing? We were people around the same set. Yeah, so... Don't try to steal the show by proclaiming that you're also a streamer. Yeah, it's about a minute and 20 seconds in. So yeah, I don't know how old these videos are, but I can tell you, I first started looking at this about a year ago when the pandemic was just getting started. So if these kinds of videos were floating around in Twitch Creator Camp way back when, they're grotesquely obsolete now. And just because Twitch tells you to do something doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Just look at, again, those big streamers we talked about earlier who don't even have stuffy rules lists, much less no self-promotion. And then you try and tell me whether or not that's a good idea for anybody to do long-term. Bottom line, you need to be able to deal with the fact that you're not going to be the only content creator in existence. Get over yourself. Know how to actually dialogue with these people. Maybe even find out what they're into. What exactly do they do? Maybe you'll be interested in it. Maybe you'll actually get some time, get around and watch it. You might make a new friend that way. But so long as you continue being iron-fisted just because someone else told you no self-promotion is the way to go, you're going to shut that down. And most importantly, other people are not. And then we can compare numbers like 6 months down the road or something like that. That's all I have to say to that. PowerPoint slides will head up to probably Instagram and Twitter. But as it stands, no self-promotion is content creator divide and conquer. It's a great way for small creators to fight amongst each other and be antagonistic towards each other instead of trying to grow together. And it's not what the big people are doing. The big people might be antagonistic to smaller creators, but once you get to a certain size, they want to collab with you instead. So the rules change once you get big enough. But how do you get big enough? So again, you have the haves at various degrees, just dumping on the have-nots. It's pitiful. But it's the world we live in. And the question, of course, is, what are you going to do about it? Nice solo, by the way, for this. Harris did a really good solo for this for Streambeats. Streambeats.com for the music. So what's next? So I have a ton of tech stuff to do. I have a ton of meta stuff to do. There are things I think that would be better expressed in videos. We have things to figure out with the videos. We have stuff to do with the computers as well. And I found out that this microphone is erroneously detecting as a Logitech G gaming headset. And that's why my surround sound isn't working right. And I'm having audio cutouts when I spin my character around in ESO. Plenty of stuff to do. I won't be bored anytime soon. But I hope this discussion can be useful to somebody. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.